Thank you so much for joining me live today, or if you're watching on the recording. This is week 5 of our 6-week Beauty is Wellness series for Empowered Living. It's our Empowered Living virtual series, which will live on in our Empowered Living library. So happy to have you here. This week, we are talking about small shifts that you can make to feel your best. So the interplay of your beauty with aspects of your daily life, some of which are very automatic and maybe we don't even think about much. Our mindset, the way we breathe, the way we move, and our sleep. Now, I kind of see this week as part of our process of zooming out on our beauty. So we started talking about some of the products that we can put on topically, looking at different ingredients. Then we looked at rituals, beauty rituals and self-care. Then we zoomed out a little bit more to look at nutrition and food. And today, again, we're looking at the connection between our beauty and parts of our life that just become habitual, that maybe we don't even think about, but over time have such a powerful cumulative effect on the way we look, but also the way we feel, because so much of our beauty has to do with how you feel in your body. So just to get started, as a background, your physical appearance is strongly influenced by your hormones, inflammation in your body, your stress response, so your cortisol levels, your endorphins, which influence your moods, and also the performance of your mitochondria, so how well your cells are functioning and making energy for your body. And any time that you can reduce wear and tear on your body, you begin to slow the rate at which your cells are aging. And that's going to be a theme today. It's just the tiny moments that we can use to shift our bodies, to shift our thoughts, our breath, the way we move, the way we sleep. And as we do that over time, we create a big opportunity to reduce that wear and tear on our bodies and change the way that we age and the way that we feel day to day. So when we're in a state of fight or flight, which a lot of us are in a lot of the time, thanks to technology, screens, constantly getting messaged by things, or maybe we just have things in our life that are stressful. A lot of us maintain a sort of low level of stress at all times. In that sympathetic state, any process that isn't essential for your immediate survival is a low priority for your body. So this is things like your digestion, your ability to detoxify. It also includes your body's ability to heal, your immune defenses. So all of those things, if they're not essential for your immediate survival, your body down-regulates those things. And over time, your immune system and your hormones struggle to function optimally this way. You might experience low energy, low moods, difficulty healing, just feeling that you're not thriving. And all of this can stem from that kind of low level sympathetic activation or sympathetic stress. And when your sympathetic nervous system becomes too active, we call that sympathetic dominance. Signs of sympathetic dominance include headaches, cold hands and feet, anxiety, hair loss, feeling sensitive to light or sound, sleeping poorly. You end up kind of spending your resources on immediate needs in your body and leaving very little to maintain your long-term health and beauty. So we want to flip that around and make a conscious change to some of our habits so that we are investing in that long-term health, investing in our beauty, allowing our body to save those resources and spread them around to other places rather than just our immediate survival. And that requires switching over to our parasympathetic nervous system. This is the branch of your autonomic nervous system that activates calm in your body. It's referred to as the rest and digest state. You might have heard that or be familiar with it. When your rest and digest state switches on, or when you bring your body to that place, your heart rate and your breathing slow down, your body returns to digesting well, you can think more clearly, your circulation is restored, so you start to notice a healthy glow to your skin. And this is the ideal state for healing and for thriving. It's really where we feel our best day to day. It's just up to us to consciously bring ourselves to this place and prioritize it, because we do live in this modern world where there are so many things that are switching us over into our sympathetic activation day and, day after day. So again, we want to bring ourselves to that place of calm. We know that beauty is also more about that feeling than you might expect. Now, we are going to talk about specific things that you can do for your mindset, your breath, your movement, and your sleep. Now, if you have a particular health condition, if you're being treated currently, and that makes it hard to do one of these 4 actions or to address one of these 4 areas, don't worry about that. Focus on what you can control and bring more of that into your life right now. Focus on things that you can do, and that can make a really big difference. So to start with our mindset, just to give you an idea of the effect of your mind and your thoughts over your physical body, just know that your state of mind creates an energetic effect over every cell in your body, and it can make really dramatic changes in what is happening physically. In addition to inflammation, your thoughts alone can shift physical aspects of your body, like your heart rate, your blood pressure, your body temperature, your rate of breathing, your digestion, your muscle tension. All those things can be shifted just with your thoughts alone. Does this mean you need to keep yourself in a happy, calm place all the time? Obviously, that's not realistic, right? So we just have to be a little more conscious about our thought patterns and maybe patterns that we have taken on over time unconsciously. But so no matter what's unfolding in your life today, you might say, oh, this is really not a good time for me to focus on gratitude or calm because I have a lot going on, things that are stressful. Just know the way that you perceive and react to those challenges is up to you, no matter what else is going on in your life. Now, if you have developed thought patterns that you'd like to change, know that you can undo whatever habits you've developed as long as you make the effort. Your brain has an astonishing quality called neuroplasticity that gives you the potential to rewire your default responses, your default thoughts, and your habits. So it just kind of like strengthening a muscle takes practice to rewire those thought patterns. One of the easiest ways to do this, and I know you've heard it before, but it bears repeating, is to lean into gratitude. So gratitude itself has been shown to increase happiness, reduce depression, strengthen your mental resilience and your self-esteem, even improve your sleep and your self-care habits. And these, again, trickle down to have profound benefits over your physical body. So with a gratitude practice, it only requires a few seconds to a few minutes, and it has the ability to lower your levels of that stress hormone cortisol that add up over time. And if you think about that cumulatively, that begins to slow that wear and tear on your body. The less that you are in that sympathetic fight or flight state, even just a few minutes at a time, helps your body bounce back from honestly hundreds or thousands of little stressors that crop up every day. So bringing your mental space back to a space of calm, of positivity, of gratitude. And if you don't feel like you have anything to be grateful for at the moment, just look around and find something that makes you feel good. Maybe you have a lip balm in your purse that smells really good, that feels comforting. Or maybe there's light shining in through your window that just feels soothing at the moment. Start really, really small and see if you can think of 2 or 3 things. And as you notice that sensation of gratitude or even just well-being, try to lean into it and extend it a little bit. Stay with it for a minute. Don't just say, oh, that's great, let it pass. Try to draw out that feeling of gratitude. And as you do, you deepen the physical benefits for your body that help to lower inflammation, to lower your cortisol and your stress response. And over time, that starts to trickle down and affect your hormones, and that links into your skin and your beauty, and it becomes a really dramatic effect. So something to think about that's small, that can also really help your physical body just with your thoughts. The next area that I love to talk about is your breath. Now, most of the time we're breathing without even thinking about it. It's something automatic. Our bodies are just doing it while we do other things during the day. But if you can switch that to be mindful with your breath, changing your breath pattern is one of the fastest ways to change your consciousness or kind of send a message to your body. Now, if you notice that you take shallow breaths, even a little bit, that causes your body to produce less carbon dioxide, which is essential to your body in homeostasis. Too little carbon dioxide leads to an overactivation of the nervous system, to muscle tension and the constriction of blood flow, to tissues that can result in headaches, poor concentration, cold hands and feet, poor circulation, and that changes the glow in your skin, right? That delivery of nutrients to your skin. So instead of having those shallow breaths, we want to consciously extend our breaths. If you can, also note that you are breathing through your nose. So nose breathing has been linked to increased activity in that calming parasympathetic nervous system, which helps your body digest, repair, helps increase lymph flow in the body, whereas mouth breathing has been linked to increased fight or flight. So two little things to do is switch to nose breathing as you can. That's like a calm signal to your body. And then try to lengthen those breaths. And the part of your breath that's the most important to lengthen to send that calm signal is your exhale. So if you just want a really simple breath practice that you can do, breathe in however many counts feels right. Maybe it's 4. And then double that on your exhale. So exhale for 8. Maybe you breathe in just for 3. You're breathing a little more shallow. Then you want to exhale for 6. Just knowing that you lengthen your exhale twice as long as the inhale, that's going to be a trigger to your vagus nerve. It's going to be a calming signal to your body. And over time, stimulating that vagus nerve lowers your cortisol, reduces inflammation in your body, which is going to slow the signs of aging and the progress of aging. And this even encourages neuroplasticity in your brain. It helps you to more readily change your brain patterns. So something really simple. And if you enjoy that, that sort of 2 times breath, there are so many other ones out there. The 4-7-8 breath is a favorite. Box breathing is another one that you can look up. You can search these on YouTube and find videos on how to do them all. There's another one called alternate nostril breathing that is nice for helping you to be alert and attentive, not get too relaxed. But know that changing your breath pattern is one of the fastest ways to change your body's response, your nervous system response, and tap into that ability to just send a message to your body. Next area to look at is movement. So the thing with movement is we want to use it to dispel tension. When we maintain or we carry tension in our body, we are impeding the flow of energy, of blood, of nutrients in the body. We're not letting our tissues oxygenate as much. We want to be able to move and release tension. So moving your body helps circulate energy, nutrition, helps to rev up your body's natural detox processes and your lymph flow, helps to strengthen your immune system, and also helps to calm anxiety and calm reactivity if that's something that you're feeling. I think it's really fascinating that movement or exercise creates energy in your body in part by challenging and stressing the body. And that leads to repair and strengthening and overall health and healing boost. So it's almost like a little bit of stress in this situation actually leads to a boost in healing and strengthening. So that movement is going to stimulate the flow of lymph and increases blood flow to your tissues. It releases chemicals that support your immune function, your healing, and your good moods. So this is where we feel those endorphins get released, the dopamine, the serotonin, and all of those neurotransmitters in turn affect the radiance of your skin, what you see in the mirror. Now, in terms of what to do for movement, this can depend on how you feel today, your strength and your ability. One thing that I like to do in this situation is to ask yourself how you want to feel today. Think about what is it that you want from today? Do you want to feel calmer today? Do you want to feel more energized? Maybe you want to find some inspiration somewhere and see if you can use your movement to help get yourself to that place. So if I wanted to be calmer today, I would do a long walk. I would do some deep yoga stretches that I would hold for several minutes while I breathe from my belly. If I wanted to feel energized, I would go for a little jog, do something high paced, put on some music and dance. I'd move my body in a way that felt like I could be spontaneous and move a little faster. If I wanted to feel inspired today, again, I would get out in nature, do something that I'm moving outside where I could see colors and plants and hear bird song and be kind of stimulating my brain in a different way. So if you're not, if you don't have an exercise routine that you love, start by asking how you want to feel today and see if you can use your movement practice to help get yourself there. But know that as you do, you're releasing tension, you're stimulating the flow of lymph, circulation, and all of those things are so important for your beauty and the radiance of your skin. So movement links in really closely to beauty. And the last section and the last area of our lives, our daily habits that influences our beauty in a big way is our sleep. Now, this is our time for our bodies to repair, to replenish, to secrete growth hormone, and to clean out waste. We know it's a time when our brain has its own lymphatic system that cleans out as we sleep. Now, there are some interesting studies in this area that link directly to beauty. So one shows that getting less than 7 hours of sleep creates a spike in cortisol and inflammation. And both of these things are a precursor to blemishes, to having red and sensitive skin, to having earlier or more pronounced wrinkles, and for storing weight around your middle. So an area where we know it's not great for your health to be storing extra weight. So all of those things can be something that comes from getting less than 7 hours of sleep often. So having it be something that's frequent. Now, one study showed that after just one night of reduced sleep, the participants of the study, who were very young, aged 18 to 31, were judged by others to look less healthy, less attractive, more tired, less approachable. After just one night of reduced sleep, that was something that could be gauged or could be noticed just in their face. So it's interesting that study was so direct and noticeable. Less sleep is also associated with lower levels of growth hormone, and this can translate to a slower metabolism. Over time, this can create wear and tear on your mitochondria that create your cellular energy. And we know that those who sleep less are more likely to be depressed and anxious. And I find that those things are very hard to, those energy states are very hard to hold when you're also thinking about feeling your best, feeling beautiful. It's hard to feel your best, to feel your most beautiful when you're feeling anxiety or depression, or when you have those high levels of stress. So what can you do to prioritize your sleep to make sure that you are reducing inflammation, lowering your cortisol, giving your body time to do that natural cleanse and release growth hormone? One of the most important things is to notice the light in your home and in your environment. So as it starts to get dark, lower the lights in your home. If you can spend less time on devices, that's important, because we know that blue light is sending signals to the body and brain that it is still the middle of the day, so to stay awake, right? And as we start to lower lights, that's when your body produces melatonin. Having blue light exposure at night lowers your melatonin production up to 50%. So that can be a big impediment toward good sleep. Between about 6 and 10 p.m., that's when your nervous system and your cortisol levels should ideally be winding down. So think about when your bedtime is, and for at least an hour before bedtime, ideally 2 or more, try to avoid exercise, computer work, watching TV, anything that's going to stimulate the nervous system and block your melatonin production. And this also includes any TV shows that are scary, suspenseful, that get your heart pounding, or anything that just kind of gets you wound up late at night, maybe work late at night. All of these things are going to impede your melatonin production. So your brain needs that nighttime calm as a signal to raise your melatonin and get ready for sleep. And if you don't have that because you're watching something suspenseful, a thriller, or you're working at night, or you're working out late at night, those things can really impede your sleep. Finally, and I love this tip because it's helped people unexpectedly. If you have difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep because your mind is racing or you feel anxious at night, of course, there's always the tip to, journal at night or write down your to-do list for tomorrow so that you can kind of let your thoughts stop racing at night. But I also like the tip of wearing a soft eye mask to bed. And the reason that this works is that the gentle pressure that a mask puts on your eyelids stimulates your oculocardiac reflex, which is a trigger for your sympathetic nervous system and your vagus nerve. So that gentle pressure right here on your eyelids that happens when you put an eye mask on is going to help to ease you into sleep and keep you there. So sleep masks, eye masks, whatever you call them, they've been shown to increase your REM sleep and decrease your night waking. And this is likely because of that calming reflex that they engage. So if you don't have one, give that a try. It also helps because it blocks light, of course. But I love that soft pressure on your eyelids that gives your body that reason or that signal to switch over into your parasympathetic nervous system. Now, each of these are tiny habits, really small shifts in your daily life, a switch to the way you might be breathing, a switch to the way you go to sleep or you move during the day. But over time, cumulatively, they really change the way your body feels. They change the signals that you're sending to your body about safety, calm, healing, and thriving. And those things really factor into your beauty just as much as what you're putting on your skin. And all these things work together. So I hope this inspires you. Next week for our final week, week 6, we're going to go back to our topical products and we're going to talk about sun care. So products and practices that are going to prepare us for the summer season. And this is really important. If you're going to use topical products, one of the most important things to do is to protect from that UV damage, which we know is a big cause of advancing skin aging. So we're going to talk about the best products, important practices for thriving in the sun, because we do want that healing sun exposure. It is good for our bodies, but there are ways to be safe about it. So next week for week 6, we will dive into that topic. But thank you so much for attending. This will be in our library along with our other sessions. And I will see you next week at 2 p.m. for our final session.